Everybody, welcome back to British Stand. Some breaking news for you this afternoon as a college has gone into lockdown in the UK after a man or a boy pulled out a machete on fellow students. We've got some video footage to share from the scene and we're going to be going through the police response to this and kind of what went on. Not only that, we're also going to be discussing the outrageous sentence with regard to this man. Yes, do you remember him? Of course, the Ethiopian migrant who sexually assaulted a girl. Of course, he has now been jailed and his sentence is quite frankly diabolical. Really is. However, let's get to the main story, guys, but as always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more and get involved in the live chat. We're taking your reaction a little bit later on. Now, this is what's been going on in Warwickshire. Yes, a teenage boy has been arrested following reports of someone armed with a knife at Warwickshire College in Leamington. The incident took place at around 12:20 p.m. today when two teenagers entered the games room at the college and started up an altercation. According to witnesses, one of the boys then brought out a 2-foot machete, which he started to swing around before running away. The college was then put into lockdown and armed police attended. Let's have a little look at this footage from the college.
Yo, Kurt! Yo, actually just Kurt! Are we witnessing? Shit! Oh shit, yeah, I fucked that, cuz.
So, yeah, as you can see from the footage there, pretty terrifying altercation. Let's go through some of the police statements with regard to this as well. So, Warwickshire Police said a boy has been arrested following the reports of someone with a knife at Warwickshire College in Leamington this afternoon. The report was made to police at 12:22 p.m. Chief Inspector Simon Ryan, policing commander of South Warwickshire, said, "This was clearly a terrifying incident for everyone concerned, and I would like to reassure people that we have taken prompt action and to detain the suspect." A 17-year-old boy was arrested a short time later at his home following inquiries at the scene. He has been arrested on suspicion of attempt to wounding and possession of an offensive weapon. We are carrying out searches at his home as a part of this investigation. Nobody was injured. At this time, we believe the incident was part of a disagreement and we don't believe there is any further risk to the community. We are aware of footage of the incident on social media and this is forming part of our inquiries. I'd encourage anyone with video footage to contact the police. We will maintain a police presence at the school and I'd urge anyone with concerns to speak to one of our officers. 2 other boys were arrested on suspicion of violent disorder following an incident while officers were present at the scene. So, yes, you can see there the police response was pretty swift, but this is not the first time we're hearing incidents come from our schools and our colleges throughout the United Kingdom and the rise of knife violence. This is becoming far too familiar, and there's been a few over the summer that we've reported on here on this channel. I always remember the one incident, of course, happening in Sheffield, but quite shocking to see. It really is. Guys, this is look, every day I go on X as well, I see other video footage of knife incidents, and again, this is just a growing problem and a growing thing within our country, as I spoke about schools, but just knives and big blades in general across the country. And in fact, this morning, I just wanted to share this video from UK streets of a sword fight, by the looks of things, from individuals as well. Have a watch of this. Yeah, I mean, I can make a distinct correlation between all this sort of video footage, but I'm not going to say it publicly. Guys, do let me know your thoughts on that one down there in the comment section below. Whilst I have you live, of course, there was a bit of a revelation with regard to this man here, of course, that being that Ethiopian migrant. Remember, he, of course, sexually assaulted. He was the individual that was residing at the Epping Hotel. And essentially, he has now been given his sentence. And guess what? He has been jailed for 12 months after sexually assaulting a teenage girl and woman. So 2 separate incidents, just days after arriving in Britain on a small boat. And, you know, he was the one that sparked all of these protests in the first place outside the Epping Hotel. And of course, he has now been jailed for just 12 months. Now, some would say, well, 12 months, etc., etc. But again, remember, the British establishment made a precedent with Lucy Connolly. She was jailed for 31 months. While she didn't serve the entire sentence, she was still, again, sentenced to 31 months in prison for a tweet. This individual sexually assaulted a teenage girl, also sexually assaulted a woman, and finds himself only going to jail for 12 months. This is modern day Britain. It really is. How can you literally make this up? A lady that writes a tweet gets 31 months, and a man who does not even reside here, by the way, an illegal migrant, days after crossing, sexually assaults a teenage girl, and then sexually assaults a woman and only finds himself with 12 months. It's absolutely shocking to see. But as stated, this is modern day Britain. Let's get into the live chat, guys. It's been a couple of days since, of course, live streamed. Do let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Mako says, well, at least he got charged. I mean, look, listen. We're talking about, you know, sexually assaulting somebody. Of course he's going to be charged, and of course he's going to be sentenced to some sort of thing. But again, I feel that the British establishment set the precedent with Lucy Connolly and all of the other political prisoners last year. And I kind of measure what individuals get based on those sentences. I really do. That's just how I go about doing things now since that happened. Brian Jones says, but it should be sad that a 12-month custodial sentence does open up this man for deportation, as this does seem to be the threshold of a sentence where this can be an act. Well, of course, this individual needs to be deported straight after his sentence. But as the way some people are saying it, you know what? 12 months of free food. Again, we still have the responsibility, and we have the sort of care now due to him committing a shocking crime within our country. He needs to be punished. But, again, he was only in our country for a few days, and it just draws lines where, well, he shouldn't have been in the country in the first place. But as Dominage says, he's 12 months worth of free food. He's going to be residing in the country, and he's going to be getting what he wants. A roof over his head, 3 meals a day, and, of course, all the time in the world to try and come up with a plan from when he gets released as to why he can't be deported to his own country following this. That's probably going to be the next scandal after this, just despite him staying in the country for days and then serving a 12-month sentence. The individual probably will come up with something with these woke lawyers which will see him not being able to go back to his own country. Whether that may he be coming out with a gay claim, whether that's going to be coming out with a claim that he's alcoholic. You know, there's loads and loads of loopholes within our sort of system at this moment in time, and we're probably going to be seeing this guy actually stay in the country for the foreseeable future, which is also shocking to see. Fed Up Brit makes a good point. He won't be in prison for that long, though. Exactly. He won't. That's just how it is. He won't be in prison for that long. Karen says the British are known as tolerant people, but they can only be pushed so far. True. Jenny says he's gone from one taxpayer's hotel to another time they get sent home. Yeah, well, the problem is, well, people saying this, look, they should deport him immediately. Look, I understand what people's frustrations are. You're like, well, you know, he's committed a crime straight away. Why are we being responsible for him? But if we were just to deport him, and then he got off scot-free for sexually assaulting a girl, a teenage girl within our country, and a woman within our country, then the individual would not receive any punishment for what he's done. And probably, due to our weak borders, the individual will then be deported, and then we'll just start the journey back here again, under a new name, new documents and all that sorts of stuff, and then come back and claim asylum as a new man, and then he'll be back out on the streets regardless. So the individual is the way our sort of immigration system works, or our legal immigration system works, we haven't really got borders. So by the time, you know, we deport him, he would just be back again, then be back on our streets carrying out other heinous acts. So that's probably the way it will go. So I do believe that an individual should be punished despite him being illegal, but then after should then be deported and never be seen again. But again, any other country with decent borders would be able to make that happen and make that be that possibility. But within the United Kingdom, we can't do it. We're really, really poor at doing so. Sharon says mental health, doesn't like chicken nuggets, is gay and will be persecuted or running away from religious persecution, etc., etc. Yep, super easy to stay in the United Kingdom by the looks of things, and as you said there, Sharon's not even making up any of these points. One person actually was allowed to stay in the country, but with regard to chicken nuggets, his son wasn't allowed to get chicken nuggets for where he's from, so that's why they stay, and a lot of them play the gay card as well, and obviously that's an automatic no-no in these sorts of countries, and then the UK are lumped with them and we're stuck with them for the rest of time. But yeah, this is all planned. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed in today's story. Of course, the knife epidemic in this country is truly shocking. But yet another school unsafe, and we're not seeing little pen knives being brought out. We're seeing 2-foot machetes being brought out into disagreements now in colleges and schools across the United Kingdom. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll be back later for a bit more breaking